Back to HNM Storytime. I'm Miss Samantha, and today we're talking about someone whose name is hard to say, so let's practice. Can anyone say Zacchaeus? Can you say it again? Say Zacchaeus. We actually have a very fun song to sing with this story, but we'll get to that later. So first, our story is about Zacchaeus climbing a tree. Do you see him up there? Just chilling? What's he doing up there? Let's find out. This story is found in your Bible in the book of Luke. Many people followed Jesus. They just followed him around to the stores. He was on a walk. He was going to eat dinner or lunch or breakfast, anything. They wanted to see him. They wanted to see what he did, hear what he said, see where he was going, see who he was talking to. There were so many people crowding around Jesus that a man named Zacchaeus couldn't see. He wasn't the tallest man. He was standing on his tiptoes and he still couldn't see over the people. He jumped up and down. He tried to see around them, tried to see the other way, but the people were too tall and too many of them. They got in his way. He asked taller people to move over, but they weren't listening. Zacchaeus was too short and nobody would help because Zacchaeus was mean. He was a tax collector, so he was stealing their money, and that made them mad. Finally, Zacchaeus ran ahead of the crowd, and he found a tree that he knew Jesus would pass by. Zacchaeus climbed up the tree and waited. The crowd came closer, and he saw Jesus. Jesus was coming toward the tree. Jesus stopped right under the tree, and Zacchaeus was looking. He was watching. He was listening. All of a sudden, Jesus looked up at Zacchaeus and said,
Zacchaeus, come down.
Zacchaeus came down. He probably felt super nervous, and he listened to what Jesus had to say. Jesus looked at him and said,
I'm going to your house today.
What? You went to Zacchaeus' house? Zacchaeus wasn't a nice person. Zacchaeus was so excited. All the people that were watching Jesus and listening to what he had to say were so surprised.
Zacchaeus? Why would Jesus want to spend time with Zacchaeus? He was mean. He was a cheater.
But Zacchaeus was so excited and hurried to his house with Jesus. And on the way there, Zacchaeus wanted to do what was right. He told Jesus that he was going to give everything back that he had stolen. He was going to give half of everything he had to the poor. He was going to give back 4 times anything he had cheated from people. Zacchaeus was so glad Jesus loved him, it changed his whole life.
Our verse today is found in Luke chapter 19, verse 5. And it says, Jesus looked up and said, Zacchaeus, come down. I'm going to your house today.
All right, you guys ready to do it together?
Should we do it 2 times, Miss Samantha?
Let's do it 1 time, then we could see.
Okay, Luke chapter 19, verse 5.
Luke 19, verse 5.
Jesus looked up and said,
Jesus looked up and said,
Zacchaeus, come down.
Zacchaeus, come down.
And I'm going to your house today.
I'm going to your house today. That was pretty good. I think we should do it 1 more time.
1 more time. Be very loud.
Oh yeah, we gotta be loud. Where's our voices? Gotta be super loud so we can hear us outside and our grown-ups in the sanctuary.
Luke 19, verse 5.
Luke 19, verse 5.
Jesus looked up and said, Zacchaeus,
Jesus looked up and said, Zacchaeus,
come down. I'm going to your house today.
come down. I'm going to your house today. So Zacchaeus had 2 problems. He was too short to see anything, and he was too mean for anyone to care. So who has ever been too short to see something? Have you been trying to see over like a fence or a railing, or try to see a show, or try to see where you're going and someone's blocking your way? Have you ever had that happen?
I got a stool. And then I climbed up to the highest point I could get on that stool. And it was great because I could see what was going on.
That's good. But the second problem, I think, is pretty important. Zacchaeus didn't have any friends because he was very mean to people. All he cared about was money. So even though we're all short, we can grow. You're going to grow someday to be super tall, at least taller than you are now. But we can always remember that we can be nice to people, that we can have our friends because we care more about people than about money. So that's something to remember. But even though Zacchaeus' heart was pretty mean to people, he still wanted to see Jesus. I wonder what he had heard about him. Something about Jesus. Zacchaeus was like, I gotta go, I gotta see, I gotta climb, I gotta do anything I can to see Jesus. And when he saw him, it changed everything. His heart started to get soft and he wanted to love people just because Jesus looked at him. Just because Jesus loved him, saw him, and wanted to spend time with him. Jesus didn't care that his heart was mean. He still loved him and wanted to hang out with him. So if we ever find anyone that's heart is mean, we can be like Jesus. We can still love them. Even though their heart is hard, the love of God can always make it soft and always change them. All right, well, that's all for today. Next week is the last week of March, and we will see you then for another H&M story time. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye.